Oh, hey, it's toasty in here. All right, so we know that a couple of years ago my dad bought this Mazda 3. We got 32,000 miles on it already. It's just a couple of years old. I do like the push button start on this thing. I actually like this car a little bit more than my my Mazda 3 now. If I had to get a car again, which I kind of want one, but I don't want to get into a payment, you know? That's the thing that pissed me off, was having the payment. But it was nice having a brand new car. I would so totally get one of these, but I'd wait till they're like cheaper. You know, whatever. But yeah, it's a nice car. It's got dual zone and everything, and just a manual seat on that side with power. This side heated seats. You got blind spot, all this good stuff. It's got a 6-speed automatic, which I like for a daily commuter. I like having the automatic. I like them both basically, but sometimes I prefer an automatic. So I'm just moving this thing out to get that guy into the garage, because I want to tinker with the truck. I gotta fix my radio wiring. We'll get to that here in a second, but it's something that I goofed up on, so I didn't check the voltages. So anyways, yeah, we haven't had any issues with this car at all. We've never even had to take it into the dealer to have them fix anything. It's been flawless. So anyways, I haven't ran this thing for a while. And when I mean a while, I mean like a day and a half. So I got my bed back there. Let's see if we can get a little bit of smoky. I gotta change the oil on this soon, because I know that when it starts burning a little bit of oil, it needs its oil changed. The radio works, but when I put my headlights on, they shut off, and I'll show you what I did here in just a second. Anybody coming? How do you like the semi-squeak-free brake pedals? Isn't that nice? Now we'll leave that in here. Nicely adjusted e-brake cable. So what I had done in this guy here, first of all, I got it mounted nice. I found like this putty stuff put up in here, and it's just locked it down, and it's really nice, because now I can go over bumps. I don't hear the whole dash rattling around. It's nice, but I gotta pull it apart now. So what I did is originally with this truck, it had a clock here. Well, I took that connector and cut it off, and the ground part, I checked to see if it was a straight ground, and it seems like it is, because I ground it off on the antenna cable. Used my voltmeter, hooked that to the antenna on the ground side, and then the other end put on that ground wire, and it was a straight ground with no goofery. So I think that's good. But the other wire provides about 11 volts, which is enough to turn this thing on. However, it's tied into the dimmer switch, so when you turn the headlights on, it dims the clock, and this thing just goes bananas. And so I need to get that off of that circuit and get it onto something else. I think the ground is okay. We'll verify that, but it is not happy. Hopefully I don't get a copyright claim from that. My mom is rocking out there, so check this out. I still have this wired to that key on thing. What I think it's doing is that the ground, it's changing something in the ground, like the resistance or something. So I cut that wire out of the circuit. I still have the yellow wire that goes to the clock. That's 12 volts. So when I turn my key on, radio power's on. Let's and tune it now. When I pull my headlights on, headlights are on, radio's still on. And I can do key off, radio off, key on, radio on. Bob's your uncle. From now on, I'm gonna tape off that blue wire. I'll show you the wires that we're rolling with here. So when you get that clock wire, you're gonna have this sky blue, violet or purplish wire. Well, this yellow one, you get 12 volts out of it, key on. So I'm rolling with that. That's going into my red wire here for the stereo. And it likes it, but as soon as I put the headlights on, this wire here, which is going to the ground, just totally freaks everything out. So in my main ground, it's getting it from the antenna here, but I want to attach this somewhere so that it has another, so that this case is grounded, or so everything else is grounded. So I'm gonna try and work on that, find a good spot for it. I know I got some connectors down here that are tied to the body. I might run a wire down to that. So this isn't the best wiring job that I would like to see. However, all this is soldered together and sealed up with tape. I would like to just use heat shrink tubing, but I'm all out of that stuff. So they got this barnacle here. I'm just gonna take some electrical tape and just loom it up there. I got it length on my ground here. I have one last eyelet, and I just tied it in here, and that spot was somewhat clean, so it's still good. It'd be better to use a wire brush to clean it up real quick, but that'll do. So we're grounded to the chassis of the truck. This is a working ground. I checked it with this other stuff here. So we've got our power on. Our funky ground thing that probably changes resistance when you put the headlights on, that's no longer an issue. That's just cut and sealed. And I think we're good to go. I'm not going to bother with tying anything to a dimmer thing. I'm just going to leave that as is. I've got my hands-free microphone set up here. The antenna. I've got our little wiring harness here kind of set up. I'm gonna tape this up a fair bit so it's not so, you know. Here they come. Silly dogs. Anyways, I'll loom this all up here. Gonna make this a little tidy. I should have gave myself some more slack on this, but whatever. This goes to my amp in the back. Runs my speakers. So, yeah, God. All right, now let's try it. Got this reassembled in here. So I'm gonna put my headlights on. Oh, yeah, that's right. The other thing I want to check and make sure that we're good on. No, I will never know. But I want to activate this. In the end, when I get this rewired, this will activate another relay for the horns. It won't actually be pulling power from the cigarette lighter circuit, which is what it's doing for the horn main power. So we're going to take care of that, and then we'll be able to use this key on or key off, doesn't matter. And I want to make sure that, because this is tied into the cigarette lighter circuit, I don't want to honk my horn and then have this go out momentarily, if it comes onto it, I'll redo my little thing there, and because since it's tied into the serial circuit, I'll just take that out, run the bitch right back to the battery, like. So yeah, whatever, it's working now. Yeah, so I should be able to do that, and then let's see. I can use my other horn, and the radio won't go out. So as long as that's on a relay, we'll be good. No amp load there. It won't take a whole lot of voltage away from this. We should be good. Anyways, I think I'm done farting around with that part. I think the rest I'm gonna maybe work on kind of figuring out how I'm gonna set up my air conditioning setup. So this is something new I'm gonna try. Every now and then we might have a intermission. So this one here is just a little bit of George Carlin.
The church part and the neighborhood part were typical, but the school was not. It wasn't one of those old-fashioned parish kind of prison schools with a lot of corporal punishment and systemary discipline with a steel ruler, right? Oh, my hand! And you'd fall 2 years behind in penmanship, right? Well, he's behind in penmanship, Mrs. Carlin. I don't know why. Well, he's crippled. He's trying to learn to write with his left hand, you know? We didn't have that. Somehow I got lucky, you know. Got into a school where the pastor was kind of into John Dewey and progressive education, and he talked the diocese, into experimenting in our parish with progressive education and whipping the religion on us anyway and see what would happen with the two of them there. And worked out kind of nice. There was a lot of classroom freedom. There was no, for instance, there were no grades or marks, you know, no report cards to sweat out or any of that. There were no uniforms. There was no sexual segregation, boys and girls together. And the desks weren't all nailed down in a row, you know. They were movable desks, and you had new friends every month. It was nice. Like I say, a lot of classroom freedom. In fact, there was so much freedom that by 8th grade, many of us had lost the faith. Because they made questioners out of us, and they really didn't have any answers, you know. They'd fall back on, well, it's a mystery.
Oh, thank you, Father. Mystery? I don't know. What's he talking about? A mystery.
Alright, just doing a little bit of tinkering, trying to get this hose here down a little bit more. I'm going to have to get a tubing bender and rebend some of these to get it a little bit more properly positioned, because I'm going to have to move this back. Because I just placed a little pulley and a spacer I have here. These two guys. Once I get the studs for that, get that on here, I can then actually reset the position of this. It needs to go back a tiny bit. So I'll have to get a tubing bender so that we can bend this stuff without breaking it or kinking it. So once I can get that done, relocate this guy here. And then I'm going to make a plate that's going to go here, and then this will bolt to it, and then the plate will probably have a support down here, maybe attached to this guy here. I'll cut that up and redo it, and then that plate's going to come out here and it'll be fairly thick, and then this will bolt to it, and I'll get rid of this cross piece. I might actually leave this though. Or make a new one, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount my vacuum pump. It's going to be right about here. It's actually going to mount here, have a little spacer. And then I'll need this as the tensioner. And I might even use like a... no, I won't. No. I'll use something else. I'll have a little piece here and a nut on it, and you can move it and then tighten it down. And then it'll tension this guy up. And then this fan here, with the spacer on there, comes up to about here, so it's a little bit closer to the radiator, which is nice. And then I just need to make a shield for this to kind of come around and enclose this a little bit more, so the heat transfer from the radiator gets to this guy a little bit better. So anyways, just did a little cleanup, just took some dirt off and resurfaced all the mounting spots for this guy, and even the location for the bearing there, and just cleaned up the tensioner mounting surface. Just kind of, you know, goofy, quick little blitzkrieg type of thing. Get some of the rust and dirt off there. But yeah, so that worked out. Got that all cleaned up. I need to get a new belt. Let's start working again and get some money, and I'm gonna get a new belt for this because that thing is just starting to crack pretty bad. So I'll get some hardware for that, make that spacer work, get this thing a little bit closer. I kind of want to see if I can get a smaller fan, one for like a Ford truck or even a Lincoln or something. Actually, no, that wouldn't work. It'd have to be a Ford truck one. So I've been noticing my coolant level has been slowly going down, and I just topped it off. So I was just kind of looking around, and I noticed this right here is just a little wet. Just a little wet. So I went and tightened it up. It was a little bit loose. I'm hoping that that hose didn't get clamped. It's got like 14 different layers, so hopefully it's pretty sturdy. But yeah, it was getting a little wet there. Yeah, I can see it dripping down. I might have to grab a longer piece and put that on there. It's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass to do, especially with it kind of full. So I might need to throw some more slack on it. I'm gonna this rag here. Yeah, it's not dripping anymore. Hopefully that doesn't pop. If it becomes an issue, I can just whoop, and then just fill it with water. So, yeah. I'm probably going to end up doing a coolant change on this thing here pretty soon. It's not really needed, but this thing has had time to circulate through, and I want to get some nice, fresh, extended life stuff in here. So I've taken it out and reused it a couple of times. So that is the end to this video. Or this is the end to this video. I apologize for not making my bed. It's kind of, oh god. I got this whole new bed. This thing here. I got a brand new dresser and a night table here, which is where my fan now sits, and can pull hot air out of this room, and I could keep this room cool because my computer tends to be a space heater when I'm editing or playing video games. Anyways, I'm gonna end here because I didn't end on camera, so I guess I'll use my webcam here and make an ending for you. So anyways, we got some great stuff coming up. We got some more things to do with the truck. I got to redo my front brakes, and might be doing a little bit on the rear. Also be maybe doing some rear wheel bearings and new axle seals, because we know the one that I messed up the seal on leaks a little bit of oil, and we need to fix that. And you know, a bunch of other miscellaneous things. I got a lot of the some of the stupid stuff taken care of, like the radio works great now. I can have it key on and be good there. Probably the next thing that's kind of a functionality type of thing is I'm gonna add a headlight headlight relay kit or heavy duty harness kit, so that when I put my headlights on, those headlight circuits will just activate a relay and then turn my HIDs on, because right now I have a switch under the dash that I flip and then it makes them come on. So I want to fix that, and so that's all like kind of just back to a factory type of deal, and get rid of some extra wires and clean it up. So the other thing is I want to rewire my air compressor into another circuit, maybe directly to the battery, and have a new switch for that. And I have a couple of dump valves that I want to wire in so that I can get rid of the pressure, little stupid thing that you push to let the air out. I want a freaking dump valve, so I can flip a switch for that and just have it air out when I need it to. And so that's one thing. And then on top of that, we need to replace the airbags, because those are worn out and they're cracked and leaking. So all this will show up later in the year. I'm getting ready to start a new job here pretty soon. In fact, I have an interview for it tomorrow. But it's one of those jobs where after the interview, it's like, okay, go take the drug test, and you come back and you start working. I would really love to get a house, maybe a little bit smaller than this house, but I totally need a spot where I can work on stuff. The other thing that really helps is the people who watch my videos, all the new people coming in. I appreciate the viewership, and I hope it continues to grow, and we get to a point where maybe all I do is we just do projects on YouTube and goof around and have a lot of fun. So I got a few ideas in my head of upcoming projects that I would love to do. I just need the money to do it. So I also have a fan funding deal set up on my YouTube channel. So if you go onto my channel, the home page, down on the right hand side there's a support button. You hit that, you can send $1, $5, and leave a comment, you know, who you are, yada yada yada. So something like that would be greatly appreciated, and your name will be mentioned at the end of the video for your kind donation, and it would be much appreciated. And again, you guys don't have to. I'm just saying it's there if you want to. Anyways, I'm done blabbing, so I'm gonna have me some more coffee, and I might go tinker with the truck some more. Who knows? I might make a video. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, and I appreciate you watching my videos, and I hope you continue to watch. So, anyways, catch you later.